Good, y'all. Y'all know what day it is. It's Sue Me Sunday, and today I want to speak on this debate or discussion I had with a guy on Facebook the other day, and I want to get y'all opinions, views, and kind of give a general breakdown of what I was saying or trying to say. And basically on Facebook, there was a post about a millionaire versus the average Joe, and it was showing that I don't know how accurate it is, but it sounded pretty true. It seemed pretty accurate. It said like the average millionaire spends about this millionaire in the example spent 25% of his money on needs, 15% of his money on wants, and the rest was in investing. So it was like half his money was in investing. Then there was the average Joe. And so the average Joe, he spends like 45% of his money on needs, 50% of his money on wants, and like the rest in investing, so like 5% or something. So a lot of people was on there upset and making excuses for why the millionaire saved more money. And yes, it's true the millionaire obviously can, spend less money on wants and needs because he has more money to spend. That is true. But I feel like people were trying to make this excuse and brush over the fact that like the average Joe was spending half his money on wants. It's like, yeah, I agree that they have more money to spend, which gives them a larger window to, invest in everything like that. Nobody's gonna refute that. The problem is you not acknowledging that you spending all your extra money on wants. If you just spent half the money you spent on wants on investing, you would have a lot more money saved and invested. Because the average person that has money to save and invest, they just choose not to. I literally know people who they don't like having money in their bank account. They don't like money sitting, and that's the problem with a lot of people. They just don't like money sitting. So if you sometimes you have to play the long game, and that in order to everybody wants to be a millionaire, but don't nobody want to put in the work. And it's work to be a millionaire. You have to have patience. You have to do research. You have to learn. You have to better yourself. You have to actively push yourself to keep bettering yourself. So if you not let the key to making growing wealth is really just letting your money sit in investments and stuff like that. Just sitting on your money in investments and buying and owning stuff, owning properties, owning real estate, owning stocks, stuff like that. So if you're not buying assets and sitting on them, you're not going to grow your wealth. Your wealth is not about to grow in your bank account. Honestly, you're probably losing money having to sit in your bank account because based on how much interest you getting on your savings account versus the price of inflation, you probably losing money. So the cash dollar is worthless. So you should stop putting your money in banks. But anyway, I'm gonna get back onto the discussion on Facebook. So that was a lot of things people was basically complaining about that, and it's like you're not acknowledging that they're not saving any money though. They could be saving money, but clearly they not. And so I feel like a lot of people use that as an excuse, and I feel like a lot of people personally live that way, and so they try to find a way to make it sound rational and make excuses on why they basically living the way they live it and trying to make it normal on the way they living, and that's not fine. You should normalize making bad decisions and trying to make excuses for making bad decisions. You should just try to make better ones or work on improving, even if you're not putting half your money in investing. Put 10%, work your way up to 15%. As you see the results, most time when people see results, granted not always, because I know people who see results and still like, I'm not putting more money. But if you see results, usually people are willing to put more money because they're seeing results. You know what I mean? It's not for not everybody, but me personally, when I see more results, I'll put more money in. But so just do like that. Work your way up. If you just scared or you just don't understand, you just can't, comprehend letting this much money leave your hands and sit somewhere, just take baby steps. Work up 5% at a time till you get to 20, 30% of your money, extra money you got in there. At the same time, if you put 50%, you could use your dividends and stuff like that to buy stuff. So like, oh, it did real well this year or the last quarter. I'm gonna use my dividends to buy something. That I wanted to reward myself for my good investments. You could also do things like that. But I digress. We just gonna get back into the topic. Okay. So this guy, cause I had comment after seeing all this. Like the problem is a lot of people spend a lot of their money on things they consider needs but are really wants. That's all I commented. And this guy basically commented, going on a rant saying, don't tell people how to spend their money. That's not your place to do that. Why are you upset how people spending their money and things like this? So I pointed out to him that I never said that I was upset, and I never actually told people how to spend their money. I just made a statement from all the people complaining that if you could reevaluate what you was doing and realize what are actually wants and needs versus what you consider needs, you might have extra money. Because at the end of the day, if you want to be a millionaire, you have to invest your money and save it correctly. So you can't complain about somebody being a millionaire, but you're not doing anything to get yourself to that point. Now, if you don't want to be a millionaire, you just like living the way you living, that's fine. I have no problem with that. No issues at all. But if you complain about why you don't have more money or why you can't do certain things, but yet you still not willing to try to make no sacrifice or put more money, invest any more money in things, why are you complaining? That's my whole thing, and that's why I commented to say, like, why are you complaining if you're not willing to do anything to help better your situation? And he was trying to argue with me about don't tell people how to live and do stuff like that. It's like, I'm just giving advice for people complaining. And so he was saying, if these people happy, let them be happy, and if they feel meaningful, let them feel meaningful. And I'm like, how do you feel meaningful watching TV 5 hours a day after work? 4 or 5 hours, because most people just come home and watch TV the rest of the day. So how do you feel meaningful if all you do is come home and watch TV all day? I mean, me personally, I don't feel meaningful doing that. That's why I try not to watch that much TV. It's nothing wrong with watching some, but it's like you have to manage your time. Like I said before, like you have to find time, like take an hour out to read something, learn how to do something else, how to grow your money, how to build some wealth. Take an hour or two out your day and help better yourself. Because in the end of the day, when we talk about these people being happy, most people not happy with their jobs. I know very few people happy working their jobs and going to work every day. So if you're not happy with that, why wouldn't you want to try to save some extra money so you can either retire earlier or do more things that you like doing? And so I didn't understand his whole argument, because it sounds like, in all honesty, I don't know him, but it sounds like he coming from a place of kind of hurt and personal experience where like he's not where he wants to be financially, so he's trying to express his opinion, and basically he's hurt because this actually hits him, and this personally is connecting to how he lives his life, and he doesn't like that's how he's living, and he doesn't want to acknowledge that. I could be wrong, but the way he was going hard at it, that's what it felt like. So yeah, I just want to go over the discussion we had, and he was literally going back and forth with me about this, basically just telling me not to speak my mind on what was going on, even though he was doing the exact same thing, which confused me, because I told him, like, you're doing the exact same thing, so how are you going to tell me what not to do? And so after that, he stopped responding. But it was just very interesting to me how he was trying to tell me how I'm not allowed to speak my opinion and say that people aren't spending their money properly and things like that, when it's true. A lot of people don't spend their money right. If I remember correctly, I think half of Americans don't even understand finances properly. So that's a large amount of people, and that's a large problem. And so we all know people who are not financially responsible. They don't spend their money properly. They don't have any money in their savings account. They do. They got like $100, and they just don't budget their money properly. It's ain't even because they don't have money, really. It's because they don't budget it properly. Instead of going to the store to buy some new shoes on your paycheck or buying some new outfits, you should probably put that money in the savings account or an investment account and have some money for, like, emergencies, versus trying to spend your last dollar and now you have $100 to your name. That's not a good look. So you could also, but like I said, if you put in your money in investment accounts, you got dividends, you could buy some shoes every quarter. But hey, I done made this much off dividends. I made a couple $100, or whatever. My investment grew this much. You take a little bit of profits out and buy something nice. That's fine. That's all cool. But just make sure that you being financially responsible. Like I said, I'm happy to help y'all. I also started a life coach class. It's in my bio if you want to check it out. Just click on it. You can sign up for a free session. I'm happy to help. I'm just here to try to help y'all and give y'all game. I want to see my people succeed out here. I want to see y'all do well, man. I'm really rooting for y'all. I'm genuinely rooting for y'all. That's why I started doing Sumi Sundays, to give y'all game. I really want to see y'all succeed. So if y'all got any comments, suggestions on topics, feel free to hit me up. I would be happy to try to speak on them or do some research on whatever topics y'all have on mind. Also, like I said, if y'all want to personally one-on-one session with me, sign up in the link in my description on my bio. That's also a way. But yeah, man, I just wanted to speak on that because old boy was going super hard and he was telling me what to do and stuff and trying to tell me what to do. I'm like, no, I'm gonna be honest. Like, a lot of people not spending their money right. Like, you have to do better at spending your money. You can't just make excuses every time you spend your money improperly. Like, at some point you gotta hold yourself accountable. You can't keep on making excuses for the rest of your life. Now you like 50, 60-year old waiting to retire at 70 or wishing you would have made better decisions versus, if you was like 20, 30 years old, you made a foundation for yourself, you might have like $1 million, $2 million saved up in your investments accounts, and you can either decide to retire early, or by the time you do retire, you have a lot of money to spend on the things you want to do in life. Like me personally, my goal is to be able to retire around 35, 40 years old. If I decide to, I might keep working, I don't know. But if I want to retire or decide to retire, I have that option. Like, I have so much money saved in the nest egg where I can decide to retire if I want, or just work a part-time job, or do what I want, or do my real passion, of maybe doing something with the brand or making a nonprofit through the brand or whatever I do. But I can do anything I want to do where I'm not limited. You know what I mean? Like, my options are endless, and I know that I don't have to be like, oh, well, I gotta work for the next 20 years because that's the only way I'm be able to provide for myself. Like, no, this will help provide, but I have other options. You know what I mean? So things like that, like, we have to start becoming financially free. That's my whole thing. It's like, do I value money? No. But I do like having financial freedom to do whatever I want to do. Whether it's, I want to go to Africa for a month. Let me just pack up my bags and leave for a month, or be on some Dave Chappelle stuff. You know what I mean? Like, just leave and go to Africa, stuff like that. So that's kind of why I just wanted to speak on that. Let me know what y'all think. But I thought it was very interesting how people really try to make excuses on why they can't save their money properly. And like I said, this might not be an accurate one-to-one comparison. Granted, there's definitely people who spend a lot of their money on needs, and there's also people who spend a lot of their money on wants. There's some people who have no need, who don't really have too many needs because they're all paid for, and they all spending all they, 90% of their money on wants. So you gotta think about that too. But just really kind of do a reflection, see things you really need and things you really don't need. Like, for example, you don't need cable, you don't need streaming, you don't need any, like, things like that for entertainment. Like, you can honestly use it to read books, you could watch things on YouTube. I mean, there's many ways to do things. Like I said, if that's part of your entertainment, that's fine. But just realize, how much money are you spending on this stuff? Even like a phone bill, how much extra money are you spending on unnecessary stuff that you can reduce the cost on? So, phone bill, insurance, things like that. Making sure you're getting the best prices and the best deals for stuff you're paying for also, because you might be overpaying for things. So think about that. Figure out ways to save money. And, I just want to see y'all do well. I don't want to see y'all making excuses on why y'all ain't got extra money. Just figure out ways to get extra money and make extra money and save extra money. And make sure you're not spending half your money on wants when you could be spending it and investing. You know what I mean? Then you'll have extra money in the long run, and you won't have to be making these excuses. And you go from the average Joe to the millionaire. That's what I want to see y'all do. Go from the average Joe to the millionaire. I want to see y'all succeed out here. But anyways, support the brand. Sue me, I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Hey, I love y'all, man. Be easy out here. Make smart decisions and wise investments. One love.